Imagine being born destined to be king and disappearing before ever touching the crown. A young heir to England's throne, beloved by his people and surrounded by walls meant to protect him. But within those same walls, his fate would be sealed forever. Prince Edward V would never be crowned. He was only 12 when his father, King Edward IV, died suddenly, leaving the realm in mourning. The boy was declared the rightful heir, and the people, weary from years of conflict, looked to him as a symbol of peace and renewal. Yet true power rarely lies in innocence. Behind the throne, ambition began to stir in darker corners of the court. That ambition had a name: Richard, Duke of Gloucester. The boy's uncle, sworn to protect him, was appointed as Lord Protector of the realm. Outwardly, Richard played the role of guardian and loyal servant. But behind his calm eyes burned a hidden hunger. He did not merely wish to serve the crown, he wanted to wear it. Soon after King Edward IV's death, Richard ordered that young Edward and his brother, little Richard of Shrewsbury, be taken to the Tower of London. The reason given was for their safety, a place where kings were traditionally prepared for coronation. But everyone knew that the tower was more prison than palace. The two boys arrived with servants and attendants, their windows overlooking the Thames. At first, they laughed, played, and watched the river flow beneath the stone walls. But as days turned into weeks, the laughter faded, replaced by silence. Guards changed, servants disappeared, and even the ravens seemed to fly away from the tower's shadow. Meanwhile, Richard began to make his move. He questioned the legitimacy of his late brother's marriage, and by extension, the legitimacy of his nephews. What began as whispers in the court quickly became royal decree. Within weeks, the rightful heir to England's throne was declared a bastard. The crown suddenly had no owner, and Richard seized it. On July 6, 1483, Richard was crowned King of England. The people watched in uneasy silence, torn between loyalty and fear. Their new ruler stood tall, crowned in gold, but his hands trembled under the weight of suspicion. For as the crown gleamed, the princes were nowhere to be seen. The shadows of the tower grew heavier. Guards were replaced in the dead of night. Servants who once tended to the boys were dismissed and never seen again. Rumors began to spread, whispers of screams behind the thick walls, of candlelight flickering where no one was meant to be. Some said the princes had been moved for safety. Others said they were already dead. Queen Elizabeth Woodville, their mother, wept in silence. Each night brought new dread. Each dawn no word of her sons. Her prayers to heaven went unanswered. And in the royal halls, no one dared to speak the princes' names aloud. Fear ruled where justice should have. By late summer, chroniclers wrote that the tower had gone quiet. No childish laughter echoed down the corridors. No small footsteps padded across the cold stones. The rooms once filled with light and life had become tombs of silence. The kingdom pretended not to notice, but everyone felt the chill of guilt in the air. Years later, it was said that two small bodies had been found buried within the tower, children's bones hidden beneath a staircase. The discovery sparked horror and fascination, but certainty never followed. No one knew whose bones they were, yet everyone believed they knew who had given the order. Richard III ruled on, cloaked in authority and denial. He stood before his people with divine confidence, but shadows followed him wherever he went. He had claimed the crown through blood and silence, and England could not forget. The throne had become a symbol of betrayal, a crown forged in the suffering of children. His reign was brief. In 1485, only 2 years later, Richard faced Henry Tudor at the Battle of Bosworth. Surrounded and outnumbered, he fought savagely, refusing to flee. He was struck down on the battlefield, the last English king ever to die in combat. As his crown rolled into the mud, a new dynasty was born. With Henry VII's victory, the Tudor era began. But the mystery of the princes remained, an unhealed wound in England's history. No confirmed bodies, no undeniable truth, only whispers of betrayal, of blood, of two boys whose souls were lost to ambition. Centuries passed. Then, in 1674, workers repairing the tower uncovered a small wooden chest beneath the staircase. Inside were the bones of 2 children. The remains were buried in Westminster Abbey under the names Edward and Richard. Yet still, doubts lingered. Were they truly the princes? Or merely echoes of another tragedy? Historians, scientists, and dreamers have searched for the truth ever since. If the boys were murdered, who gave the command? Richard III himself? Or some other hand, seeking to destroy him? The truth has slipped through centuries like mist through fingers, always close, never caught. Some believe the princes escaped, that loyalists smuggled them away and replaced them with others. Perhaps they lived out quiet lives under false names, far from a crown that cursed their family. If so, their silence became their shield, a secret that died with them. Others insist they were smothered in their sleep, their small bodies hidden before dawn. The act was simple, silent, final, a crime to secure a throne. The tower's stones, cold and unyielding, have held their secret for more than 500 years. The fate of Edward V remains an enigma, shrouded in fog and myth. His brief life became a symbol of innocence devoured by ambition, purity corrupted by greed. His name is more than history. It is a ghost that refuses to rest. Every generation, historians and seekers return to the Tower of London. They walk its corridors, searching for answers. But all they find are whispers, echoes, and a silence that speaks louder than truth. The tower remembers, even when men forget. Time may erase faces and names, but not memory. Some mysteries refuse to die. Edward's story lingers, suspended between history and legend. A haunting reminder that power is both crown and curse. Edward V was never crowned, yet his name endures, not as a king, but as the embodiment of lost innocence. His story warns us that even royal blood cannot escape human greed. For power, once tasted, devours even the purest hearts. When you visit the tower today, you might feel it, a chill in the air, a whisper in the corridor, a flicker of light where none should be. Some say the princes still wander there, trapped between worlds, searching for the justice they never received. The official history may try to close the book, but mystery never dies. The disappearance of the princes is more than a crime. It is an echo of the eternal war between power and innocence, a story carved into the shadows of time. And so, the name Edward V survives, not as a ruler, but as a legend, a tale reminding us that crowns may be stolen, but truth cannot. Perhaps the real throne was never made of gold. Perhaps the truth about the lost prince still sleeps in the shadows of the Tower of London.